Hello guys, so do you want to stay with me until I get the police attention and they come down and actually speak to me? I'm standing on their property, I'm going to go right round the front and I need to speak to Olivia Pickney, and I'm going to speak to her face to face because of the harassment, intimidation, bullying, threatening by these guys. Hello there, I'm not going to get you on, I can see you're I can see you're non-uniform, I won't get you. Is there a police officer around at all? It's all right, I haven't got you on camera. I'm going to wait until I get the police attention. It's all right. They've knocked on my door enough this week. They can come to my door and harass me, so I'm going to come to their door and harass them until they speak to me. So I assume you're with the back of the court, so it's fine. I'll go around the front until you've shifted out. Right, I'm staying here until I get a police officer to come and speak to me. They can come and knock on my door. They can come into my personal space. They can come and harass me. They can come and bully and intimidate me. They can threaten me with guns, as you know previously. So now they are going to come and speak to me. Here is the problem with the police station. Yes, we're slightly out of hours. Look. Hello, I'm down outside the police station and I would like to actually get an appointment with Olivia Pickney, please, the Chief of Police. Okay, where would I go so I can actually speak to somebody to make arrangements other than email and other than any other way? Airport Service Road, where's that? I can look on Google. Have you got access to a system by any chance? I could do with speaking direct to the police. Right, okay, I can do that on my mobile, but the challenge is I really need to speak to somebody face to face that's not attending my property. Airport Service Road. Oh, okay, oh my word. So basically the City of Police Station has got to go out of the city to go to the police station. Wow, lucky I've got a car, that's okay then. Right, not a problem. Is there anything that you can do at this particular point to put me through to a main central police station for Portsmouth? Right. Right, okay, thanks very much. Take care, bye. So basically, this is the police station for the Portsmouth City, yeah? In order to actually go to a police station where you can go in and walk in through a door, I've got to go literally 4 or 5 miles out of the city up to where it would be where all the Royal Mail is now. So it'll be all the way up the other side. So if anyone puts in, or Amber can do it, what the name of the road that I just said, I think it was Airport City. See how far it is from the city? Because this is why we're getting a massive problem, because I'm dealing with different people every bloody time. There's a gentleman waiting here, so I'm going to go and find out what his involvement is. Hiya there, do you know I speak to a police officer directly? I'm just seeing what you are. You to do more with the police?
No, I'm more of the court.
You're more the courts?
Yeah. The only other thing I can suggest is either on that telephone...
Done that.
And the police station is now over at Airport Service Road,
Okay.
just off the Eastern Road.
I'm praying for you guys anyway, because soon you're going to have all the corrupt police officers, all the corrupt politicians and everybody banged up in there. And I won't be rattling the cages to get them out either. Right, so basically I'm going on the prowl for a police officer because I've got to get in my car to go up to a station. I want a meeting with Olivia Pickney directly. I'm just going to see if I can draw the attention of a police officer. Here a minute. And show you something. This is where, you see this room here? This is where I saw my mum through the window, right? And I was taken out from the back here, right? They will have a go at me, they will come out, and it's not a problem. I'm going to stay alive. I was held in here, right, when Elijah was taken off of me. This is Elijah, not Aaron and Faith. It's Elijah, okay? So I've been here in Portsmouth now since officially January 2016, where I came here pregnant with a little baby. As you know, I'd been on Downing Street, and then I left Downing Street and then went to Bristol, and then Dean was held, and I basically got him out on Christmas Eve by basically saying that Santa would be on the ceiling and I would cause a riot yet again, as we did for Stephen, who had fallen asleep on the roof during a protest, and we rattled the cages and got him out. No prison wants a riot. You don't need to go in guns blazing, you just need to cause a riot to get people out. So basically, my first time of ever trusting the police after the unlawful removal by PC Stephen Lewis and PC somebody else from Wrexham Hospital, Milo Hospital, had taken Aaron and Faith and caused such trauma to me that, as you know, I went like a bullet in a china shop. I was like a rabbit trapped in headlights for the first initial period. I was stuck. I'm a little bit scared that they can actually come around me here and I'm a little bit isolated, but you guys can stay with me while I try and get the attention of a police officer. As you know, since the last couple of weeks, I've had police officers knocking on my door, making allegation, or actually they didn't even really say anything. They just didn't really say anything. They won't put anything on paper, but it was literally, as you know, let me turn myself around. So as you know, when I first came here, I went to the Civic Hall to declare homelessness with a baby, with Dean, as a couple, with the intention of getting married. We both have careers and we both can provide for our children with our careers, but we had both been completely traumatised by everything that had gone on, and we didn't have a house, we weren't on benefits, and we didn't have sustainable income or place to basically bring a baby into the world in about 8 or 9 months, 7 months. I made the decision that my mum was down here. When you are in the UK, you have to have care of duty somewhere in order to get social housing, or live or work in that area, or have children in that area, or you have to be homeless over a certain period of time depending on which city and which council. I came here disclosing all of the evidence that I had that proved that Aaron and Faith were unlawfully taken from me. A police officer sat in that meeting with us and said, nothing they can do. Social workers, nothing they can do. I had two social workers initially come out. They went all the way through the paperwork, and then she said, the quicker we are out your life and you can get on, the better. But we were in an interim property, so they speeded up the move and threw us into a 1-bedroom place with the housing officer saying, we don't even know if you're keeping the kid. This is how they treated a mother who was a high-risk pregnancy, who had her children taken, was already in trauma, was already scared shitless, telling everybody, if you come into my room, you'll go out with a bullet to your head. I was put through psychological reports where you go up to a building where you're locked in, where people have maces. These people carry weapons. These people carry tools to defend themselves to the public when they are arresting them. They carry batons, they carry mace, and some of them even carry guns. I'm just a mum on a mission. I'm not a criminal. Never have I been a criminal. In fact, when social services did a freedom request on me when I was 13 years old, I was not known to the police services. Unknown. This girl is unknown to the police. Sorry, lost signal, but hung in there. Just let us know that I'm still here, because sometimes it blips out. Then I think I'm still here, and actually when I watch it back, it had actually cut out. So if Amber, just thumbs up, give us some hearts, give us some waves, some likes, just to let us know that I am still here and I am trying to get the attention of it's like I'm not a rape victim, innit? Do you know the irony is they've already isolated me on the camera, right, and so I'm still here. I could be a rape victim out here, scared shitless, trying to talk to somebody on the phone. I could be somebody very local here. Hey, it's quite nice to see your lots of hearts and things. You should give us a thumbs up a little bit more often. It's quite nice. And also it gets me up the SEO and the Google rankings and gets the message out even wider. As you know, one of the chief of police has been done for... Yeah, bloody missed that. It went on side, so so did I, but I caught it. Just as I mentioned that the chief of police has been done for child pornography and child abuse. That was the first time I've ever actually slipped on with roller skates. So anyway, for those who are just coming on, I'm stood at the back of the police station trying to get the attention of the police officers because, oh, hang on a minute, look what I've just found. Because as you know, I got closed down from social for the 5th time. No paperwork, but still waiting for Josie to know or notify me whether she knows her baby's been adopted. But Josie is on the streets in Southampton, as you know. She has not made me a care of duty. There's nothing I can do about it. This is her decision, her life. I'm not her mother. I'm not even a friend. I'm just somebody who met Josie, who was living over at the foster care sort of buildings at the other side. I am still here waiting to get the attention of a police officer because at the end of the day, they have attended my property, caused me absolute mayhem trauma. When social are out of my life, I do really well. When my mum's out of my life, I do really well. Now, the police officer that attended my property 2 days ago said something really funny, and it even perked up Dean's ears. Would you like me to call your mum? Now, as I said, my mum has been one of my biggest problems, and when I get all of this paperwork and go to court, we may actually find that my mum and my auntie were massively behind Aaron and Faith being taken, defamating me, causing perjury, misfeasance, gaslighting, blah, 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 blah. I think it's funny, but my mum would not have been able to have seen that I was at the garage with the kids the other day, which was a neighbour who has been asked to watch me. Another false allegation. Now, these people can come to my personal space. It's a council home, so they seem to think that they have some form of care of duty over me, even though that I have been completely free. I'm independent. Yes, I'm on benefits, but that is it. The only person who should be speaking and meeting with me is the Department of Working Pensions. They're the people that pay my wages for me to be sick at the moment. I am currently off as sick with complex trauma and also medically awaiting still to have the upright MRI to prove the cranial instability and potentially the drop of the Chiari. And I've already had my vagus nerve done, as you know. The picture on my timeline is me with the chiropractor. I had my pelvis reset. If you've seen any pictures of me, I used to be able to flick my pelvis in and out and also push my neck back. I can't do these anymore because they have been relocated. It doesn't mean that they're not going to come back out, because as Nick says, he can help me relocate the subluxations and dislocations, but he can't treat or fix me having Ehlers-Danlos syndrome hypermobility. As a mother with children that have also had sublocks and dislocations, these people have treated me like a criminal at A&E. Aaron and Faith were taken, told that Ehlers-Danlos syndrome was one of the easiest conditions to claim to have. I have been, as you know, with Liam. When Liam was a baby, he's now 24, I was accused of pulling his shoulder out, even though he was the first person to be diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome prior to me. What is annoying me about this multi-agency framework is this is the back end of obviously people who are going to prison. These are people who apparently are criminals. The majority of people coming out of the back of these doors are being held under 18th century vagrant laws for being on the streets with no paperwork and being held detained for no affixed abode, whether it be a petty theft or just on the streets for begging, filling up the prisons. People are filling up the prisons because of domestic abuse, domestic disputes, where at the end of the day, there is a massive different spectrum between families going through adversary to people who cause criminal intent. Massive. There is a massive difference between people moving between pain and pleasure to people coping with trauma. Now, if they want to call this mental health, that is up to them, because it is a supply and demand. It is basically making money out of your trauma, putting you in a box so you can't come out of it, because you'll say, I've got mental health issues, I have borderline personality, I'm a narcissist, I'm a sociopath, I'm a psychopath. Someone's going to play this back and say I'm saying it. I'm talking about the DSM-5 coming along, which was based in Canada by a paedophile. It was actually a paedophile that created and named the DSM-5. What you've got to remember is Asperger's, it disappeared now, because we, as historically looking into things as they have gone back in, there has been things that have been put lids on. Things like the Holocaust, things like slavery, things like abolitionists, things like child trafficking. All of this has been lidded, contained and put away because people don't have the emotional capacity to talk about the length of trauma in things that have been gone through. If somebody was stood here now going, I've been raped, I could stand there out here now going, rape, rape, rape. See how long they take to come out. In fact, should we do a whole stage thing? Like I said, the police station has moved out of the city. Now, all we can rely on at the moment is the facts. And I'm going to go around because I'm going to go and find a police officer. If the police officers, they're going to come out to me now. I'm going to have to wait for them to come out. So come with me. I can't play my music. I'm going to go and find a pig. I should be nice. They are civilians. These are people that chose to get a job, to have a trade. Some of these police officers were kids that got ASBOs, kids that don't have fathers, that grew up. Many of these sort of children went off into the army, where others of them went into the police. Some of the most bulliedest kids at school went into the police because they felt that once they put on a uniform that they would have some form of safe presence and some form of way to stand up for themselves. I do it. I put on my Red X because it is a way of me putting on a uniform that says to the rest of the world that while I am in this mode, I am here about child trafficking. This here is the magistrate's court. It is where you're meant to have all of the prisons. But unfortunately, it's all... Now, I might actually crash doing this, but I'll do it anyway. It's all a little backwards because all this system was created for the Industrial Revolution. It was created for the times when we had pretty much no buildings, and back to the time of Winston Churchill, when everything was lords, mayors, ladies and gentlemen. This is the courts of justice. This is the family courts and the place that will take you if you haven't paid your council tax. Now, yet again, here's a slight thing. Here's a thing. Even the courts understand the difference between somebody who can go up the step and somebody who would require a ramp. Now, the challenge in this system is, in order to be understood with a physical condition, you have to sit in a wheelchair. They don't understand people who may use a chair one day or for a different activity like shopping, who may be able to walk to their local chip shop and come back, but then if they were going off for a full day out, they may choose to go into a scooter. We can't live like this in society because it can't be boxed. This court here sits down, and this is probably where these people are going to try and take me. So a judge can sit down and decide 3 different orders: to make an order, to make no order, or to put the orders aside. Any judge is able to cancel a case at any point when he is presented with any facts that are incorrect. The unfortunate thing is most of the parents that are having their children taken have never been through university. Most of the parents that are having their children taken don't even have an education. Many of the parents that are having their children taken struggle with reading and learning challenges, learning styles. It's about understanding your learning style and how to learn. Most people wouldn't even know what a library was. And most people wouldn't even know what the Children's Act of 1984 is. Just 2 seconds. And this here is where children's social care will bring you into a room at the back here. Hang on. Let me see if I can even show you a room. So if you are a foster care kid or anything, this is where you will meet. You will sit here. They've just changed some stuff, actually. They're changing quite a lot of stuff. They've made a bit of an office down here. But usually you would sit in here and you'd go in a meeting there where you would then have all of your power taken away from you, and you won't be enabled. You will in fact be disabled, where a chair will then become the person who supersedes you with children's social care, and all of the paperwork is not written in your child's name. Well, it is, but it's all about you. It's not about the child. Adult social care then come in and fail. This here is obviously your quick pay for any housing benefit. Housing benefit is for police, fire, adult social care and the council. This council here is here to look after the people of Portsmouth. Just as there is a council office in every city, every town, even villages have got its own little hub in order to be there for the community. So you can come up, pay your service charges, pay your council tax, pay your car tax over the phone, and pay your rent, and other than if you pay for a private landlord or you have a mortgage. Even if you have a mortgage, you will be banded by council tax. That council tax then, obviously the police are there to protect you from criminals and to safeguard you from yourself. Then you've got social care, which is there for the children. You ready? Coming through. Nearly collided with a fucking bike. This here is the gallant men that fought for this country. This here is the stage that was built in order to perform for the king, queen, and this is where the jesters stood on the other side from the royals. Just as horses met horses with kings and kings on horses to fight for the land and fight for the city. My point being with all of this is history is about to go into the remaking. They're about to uncover how England was involved in slavery, how actually so many things are not actually true. And when we sat in our classrooms and we heard about all of these different kings, Henry VIII, James, all of these different people, there's another story to tell, because behind every single person is another story that you don't know about them, because nobody is really that open and transparent about themselves, and certainly not publicly. Hence why my family have an issue with me. It's coming into what people know to be Halloween tomorrow. It's a Scottish tradition. Scottish? It really is a Scottish tradition. I don't know where that fucking was coming from. It just sort of coming anywhere. I think I'm going a little bit Irish, less the Scottish. So it was a Scottish tradition. And the thing is, all the way around the world, every different person has a different tradition. All of these different stars can't remember how to do the other one, represent a different Soviet, a different nation, a different politics. What people don't understand is the 5 satanic one is a long pin that goes down. It's not an even thing that people think it is. We have good, we have bad, we have people who just don't really give a shit, self-centered people, and actually it's really good to just think about yourself and your own life. But we live in a capitalistic society that has meant that people won't even go out to their own mothers and fathers because they would rather have somebody who's paid to wipe their ass than to look after their own parent themselves. I was told by a judge that I would hand my children over to the state in order to meet my own needs. Right now, I am meeting my own needs. I've had a horrendous, traumatic, very scary week because I've had to stand my ground in a situation that even with the way that I spoke to them the other day, they can arrest me, they can detain me, they can section me, and they can take my children. And they can do it by force, without orders, just on the say-so of child protection. Got the ice skating ring here at the moment. It's meant to be a time of families. Boris Johnson and the head of the Lords, and actually the real Pope, the Pope that we know isn't actually the main Pope. I don't know how many people understand that London is the capital of England, but if you go to the real city of London, that is the capital of somewhere else. And we, not us in the UK, because we're out of the United Nations. Stop watching what's going on in the United Nations right now. Unless you're going on holiday or travel, don't watch, don't look. Don't look at anything going on in America right now, or in New Zealand, or any of these things right now. Just have a look at Great Britain or your own country. Here in Great Britain, the best thing that we did was leave the United Nations. If we were living in France right now, or England under the France laws, I would not be sitting here with no mask on. Even with my little taggy thing, there is no exemption for masks. I noticed that since my chiropractor has met me and listened to some of my things, he takes the mask off with me. And even when he's around the office, he takes his mask off. He was looking really tired, really gaunt, really down. Now he's starting to come back alive. Why? Because he's breathing, in carbon dioxide, now oxygen, or the other way around. We need to breathe. It's what keeps us alive. It's what gets us going. It's what gets us up in the morning. And until our dying breath do we stop. So when it comes to Aaron and Faith, until my dying breath do I stop. So Aaron and Faith are out with me, with my children, and we've dealt with the trauma that we've all been through. I don't know how Aaron and Faith feel through this. I'm waiting for my letter. It's still not come. They haven't rang me back to tell me where it is. I don't know why all of the police and everybody are having meetings. I don't know whether people are still following through on stuff or they just want to actually have the answers from me. But at the end of the day, I don't have to discuss anything to do with anyone. Even if I was child raped and I didn't tell anybody, that's nobody's business but mine. Even if I chose to take drugs, alcohol, submerge myself onto the streets in trauma, that's nobody's business but mine. Every single person is allowed to live the way that they want, but we do have facilities in this country that can help people with drug addiction, that can help people with alcoholism, that can help people with trauma, but not the labels. That's just another branch of the tree. It's not for you to take on them labels and define yourself. I love to skate. I'm a skater. I love to dance. I'm a dancer. I love to paint, draw. I'm an artist. I love to run businesses. I'm a businesswoman. I love to design clothes. I'm a fashion person. I love to counsel. I'm a counsellor. I have a psychology degree, but I'm not a psychologist. But I do love philosophy. I love looking at people's characters. I love seeing the spark go on in somebody's eye when they go into their own true, authentic self. Every single one of you has been pushed through an industrial revolution system to be something, a product, a design, to build the empire for the Queen. And then they're done. They're going off to the fucking moon, mate. But Prince William is saying, no, we got shit to do here. We still got people going around in scooters as a way and a means to get around when we've got so many other ways. The available options to people is infinite. We're not three-dimensional people. There are 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 realms. We are far greater than we could ever imagine and can do things far more imaginable than you could ever see. People can do backflips, people can dive, people can run so fast. But most people have never even tried. Most people couldn't even tell you anything that they even enjoyed, let alone loved. And most people couldn't look in the mirror and take the mask off because they know they're not going to like what they see. You get one life here, one chance, one shot to make your life the best version. It's like a catalogue. I want to show people, but you can go ice skating. You need some money, but there might be another way of getting in there. You could offer your time, you can volunteer, you could take some children with conditions out for the day, you could be a carer, you could be a youth worker. So it's not all about just the cash.
The 21 steps is even higher.
21 steps. And there you go. 21 steps. 21 days to make a change. I mean, 21 minutes, 21 seconds, you could make a decision that's going to change 2021 and make 2022, 3, 4, 5. Hey, they're even thinking up to 2030, 2050. When you leave this planet and it's your funeral, what do you think is going to be said about you? Just have a really good weekend. Even if you are dressing up for Halloween and stuff like that, you know, I'm not. I'm staying out of it, of course. I'm not into all of this stuff. But, you know, do something different this Halloween. Light up. Light up in a different way. Light your house up. You know, I don't know. Just for fun, without the tree. I don't know. Just do something really, really, really different. Go and try something. Here in Portsmouth, there you can go on free photography courses. You can come out with us skating for free. You can join different social media groups that people have got to do different things. Poetry, meet up to read a book, do a knitting or fishing, architect, design a building, design some clothes, design your family life, design your ideal day. Design the way you wake up in the morning. What does your home look like? Where are you? I mean, you might even not want to live in the UK. Where do you want to be? I have to ask these questions myself, which is how I do it with you. Because when I went into National Achievers Congress, I didn't want to speak on a platform once I'd achieved everything that I wanted. I wanted to show where I struggled. I wanted to show the pitfalls. I wanted to show the highs and the lows. Because for me, it was about sunrise, sunset, and making memories in the middle, and just going out and dancing with my fella all night. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, guys, I'm gonna get home. Thanks to Dean, who's had the boys, for me to just be able to get out, thrash about for a bit. I'm gonna go and try and find a police officer. If not, I'll be coming out later. Winter's already started here in Portsmouth. It's already starting to come through. Got the sausages and what's it down there? I don't want to show anybody, but I can show them just quick. I do it quick from here. So we got the hoggy things, so the breakfast, all the German things. In England, if it wasn't for the Germans, mate, we wouldn't even have Christmas markets. Do you know that? Make something. And this Christmas, forget fucking presents. Be present. Like, really, this winter, be present. Don't worry about money. Don't worry about what gifts that you can get people. Just be present. And sometimes words of encouragement are the greatest gift ever, or words of wisdom, or just to actually be in with someone. Yes, think about what meal you're going to have, but think about the people who are out on their own. Think about maybe there is a family member that you can make amends with. And even if not, maybe think about talking to somebody about why not. It's time to get me caught on. I'm getting fucking cold. I'm going to go and put my music on, skate home. That means that I'm going to skate. I've got obviously my End It movement stuff on. But for right now, this skate is for me, which means I put my jacket on. I put my hood up. They know it's me, but I don't need to. If they can't see me, I can't see. If I can't see them, they can't see me. So I'm going to put on some kick-ass music